Hey, how you doing? This is Joe Farley for Jogdown Video Productions. In this video, I'm going to give a preview of the football semifinals, South Jersey football semifinals that take place this weekend. And I'm going to give a preview and predictions for the two semifinal games in Group 5 and 4. I'll start with Group 5. In the top half of the bracket, it's number 1 seed Williamstown home versus the number 4 seed Atlantic City. Williamstown right now is 10-0. They've been one of the best teams in South Jersey all year, and right now they're number 1 in most people's, pretty much everybody's top 10 list. They're number 1. They're a really good team. They have a really good offense led by John Chamberlain and Marquise Little. They run a wing T offense, and they have a great running game, probably the best in South Jersey this year. They have a great defense as well. They have a bunch of really good defensive linemen who have good penetration, quick, big, strong, and they have a couple really good linebackers who fly around the field and make tackles. Atlantic City is coming off a couple nice wins. In the last week of the regular season, they beat Absegami. Then they got matched up with Absegami in the first round of the playoffs. They beat them again. And then on Thanksgiving, they beat Holy Spirit, who's pretty good. So Atlantic City is a tough team this year. I'll give my keys to the game for this one. For Williamstown, establish the run game that they've done all year, and by doing that, they'll keep Atlantic City's explosive offense off the field. Get penetration with Williamstown's defensive line. Like I mentioned earlier, let their linebackers fly around the field. If Williamstown gets pressure on Atlantic City and is making plays in the backfield, the Atlantic City is not going to be able to run their regular offense. In terms of a prediction for this game, I think Williamstown will win pretty handily. I like Williamstown by 28 points, 4 touchdowns. I think it might be close in the first quarter, first half maybe, but I think Williamstown will definitely wear them down and will definitely pull away towards the end. And like I said, will win by 28 points. At the bottom half of the Group 5 bracket is the 2 seed Eastern, who will play home Friday night versus the number 6 seed Southern. Southern upset the 3 seed Washington Township by 1 point in the first round, while Eastern beat Towns River North. Southern plays in the Shore Conference, and Eastern plays in the West Jersey Football League. So these teams they would never play in the regular season. They would rarely play in the playoffs. So this is an interesting matchup because of that. It's always interesting when teams from 2 different conferences meet in the playoffs. And it's the same thing, by the way, with the Atlantic City, Williamstown. Williamstown's in the West Jersey as well. Atlantic City's from the Cal. This Southern Eastern is a Shore versus West Jersey. For Eastern, they have a great passing attack. Their quarterback Flacco. And then they have a couple of really nice receivers, probably led by Eli Woodard, who plays receiver and cornerback. And he's a cornerback recruit for Ohio State. So Eastern will want to throw the ball. Southern is a pretty good team. Like I said, they play in the Cal. They were probably the second best team in the Cal this year behind in the Shore. They play in the Shore. And they were probably the second best team in the Shore behind Lacey this year. They're a good team. They're definitely capable of pulling the upset off here. I think this will be a really good game. If you're looking for a game to go to, this will probably be it doesn't feature a marquee team like some of the other ones that I'm talking about too, but it should be a pretty competitive game. And the others will be too, most likely, but this one, both teams are really evenly matched, I think. Prediction for this game, I think it'll be really close, like I said, throughout the whole game. But I think because Southern's on the road, long bus ride, long trip, Eastern's at home, I think Eastern pulls this one out in the fourth quarter. They make a play or two in the fourth quarter, as they've done actually a couple of times this year. And I think Eastern wins the game, and I'm going to take Eastern by 4 points. So my predicted Group 5 final is the 1 versus 2, Williamstown versus Eastern. And when that does happen, I'll make a video with the prediction for that game. Moving on to Group 4, on the top half of this bracket, it's the number 1 seed Timber Creek home tomorrow night versus the number 5 seed Shawnee. And as you probably know, I'm a Shawnee fan, so keep that in mind for this analysis. Timber Creek, who was a lot of people's preseason number one, they started off the year a little shaky. They went 2-2, but they really came on towards the end here. They're on currently a 6-game winning streak now. They won their last 4 games of the regular season. They beat Hamilton in the first round, and they beat Triton on Thanksgiving. So they're on a roll. Shawnee has had a nice year, a little bit up and down. They were the 5 seed, as I mentioned, or they are the 5 seed in Group 4. They beat Clearview pretty handily in the first round of the playoffs. They lost to Let It Be on Thanksgiving in a tight game. But they're, like I said, they're a good team, have a lot of good players, and they're definitely capable of playing with Timber Creek here. I'm actually not going to give a prediction for this game. Because I'm a Shawnee fan, I don't think it would be. Obviously, I would pick Shawnee, so what's the point in me making a prediction? But I will give the keys to this game here for both teams and what to look out for. This will be the game that I'll be at. And if you're going, I'll tell you what to look out for here. I'll start with Shawnee, and then I'll mention a bunch of things for both teams. For Shawnee, Timber Creek has a really athletic and good defense, particularly defensive line. They have really 3 D1 defensive linemen: Webb, the tackle, and then the 2 ends, bookends. Miles Nash, who's gone to Rutgers, and DeJuan Drennan, who's gone to UNC. Both Nash and Drennan are each about 6'3", 6'4". Probably, I think Drennan's a little bigger. Drennan's about 230. Nash is probably, I think, like 220-ish. They're both really athletic. If you watch their highlights, they're really nice players. And Webb, if he's healthy, which I think he is, he was hurt early in the year. If Webb's healthy, he's just a beast up front. He can be unblockable at times. So for Shawnee, the key is just going to be blocking those guys. It sounds easy, but well, actually, it doesn't sound easy blocking D1 guys, but it sounds simple, I think, is the right way to say it. But they just got to go out there and do it. The offensive line has got to come to play. If they keep those guys out of the backfield with offensive Shawnee's plays, they will make play. They can make plays against Timber Creek, but they got to block up front. That's key. And the backs and quarterback have got to make good decisions running, find the hole if there's a hole, and hit it hard, get the yards when you can. And I'll just stress this one more time: the offensive line has got to keep those ends and linemen for Timber Creek out of the backfield. They cannot let those guys wreak havoc. They got to block them, get in front of them, hat on a hat. The Shawnee offensive line is good. They can do this. They have played some good defensive linemen and have done fine this year. So that's what they got to do. On the defensive side for Shawnee, so they've got to. It's once again, it sounds simple, but they've got to tackle. Timber Creek has 5 or 6 guys who can carry the ball and do it well. Just to name a few: Zaire Williams, who's gone to West Virginia, the running back; Bryce Shade, Adonis Jennings, Nash again. Drennan plays a little bit on offense as well. They have a couple of really good offensive players who can carry the ball. Their new quarterback, Williams. So bottom line, they have playmakers, but you just got to keep in mind a couple things. There's only one ball, so you could say, okay, they have 15 playmakers or whatever. Guess what? On each play, only one guy can get the ball. So if you tackle that guy, he goes down. They don't get a second chance on that play. Obviously, they'll get the next down, but then you tackle the guy on that down. And once again, it sounds simple. It sounds like anybody can figure that out. But look, if you go out there and tackle, that's what they got to do. I hope they did a lot of tackling drills this week. That's what they're going to have to do. Those guys for Timber Creek are fast and athletic, great ball skills. They're great with the ball in their hands. You just got to bring them to the ground. That's the key. And then for Timber Creek, pretty much the opposite of what I just said. They've got to basically unleash their defensive line, make plays in the backfield, get off the blocks, and then for them on offense, they just got to stay disciplined and let their playmakers make plays. So, like I said, I'm not going to make a prediction on this game. I mean, in every game I predict Shawnee wins pretty much. So I usually predict the score, but because this game is kind of like a special game, playing Timber Creek in the playoffs, I'm just not even going to bother making a prediction. I usually do for the Shawnee games, but I'm not for this one. So just those are my keys. It should be a great game. I think it will be a close game, by the way. I think it'll be a really close game in the fourth quarter, and I think that, like I mentioned with the Easter game, it'll be which team makes the plays in the fourth quarter. And I'm not sure who that's going to be. We'll find out tomorrow, though. In the bottom half of the Group 4 bracket, it's the number 2 seed Lacey Township home on Saturday versus the number 6 seed Kingsway. Kingsway beat Morristown in a shootout. In the first round, Lacey beat Toms River South. Lacey, as I mentioned earlier, plays in the Shore. Kingsway in the West Jersey National Division. Kingsway, I'll give the keys and predictions for this game. So Kingsway, they just had 2 really good running backs, Ray Lowry and Irving. Got to let those guys run, feed them the ball, try to let them run wild. For Lacey, just stop those guys. And Kingsway, they don't have a great defense. They have a good defense, but it's capable of being scored on. But you can't make mistakes, and you got to make good plays. Kingsway, they're just a really solid. What Kingsway basically is, they're a really solid team. Nice defense, not a great defense, but a good defense. Pretty good offense, but they have 2 really good running backs, especially Lowry. Lowry's a great player. He's probably one of the top 3 or 5 best players in South Jersey this whole year, if you look at his stats and just in each game what he's done. Without him, well, I don't want to say that because they are a good team, but he's just a really special player. And it'll be tough for Lacey to stop him. Prediction for this game is this is another game that's going to be really close. I think this is almost impossible to predict. I think it'll come down to the wire. I think that Lowry will rake off a couple of long runs, as he's done in pretty much every game. I think Lacey's a good team, solid team. They'll put up points. And for the same reason that I picked Eastern over Southern, I'm going to pick Lacey over Kingsway for similar reasons. Long bus ride for Kingsway. Lacey's at home. They have good senior leadership. Home game, Lacey is a good football program. And I just think they make a play or 2 in the fourth quarter to win. So I'm going to take Lacey by 3 points in this game. In a really close game, I like Lacey. I think I actually did predict the score on this one. I like Lacey 23-20. Like I said, that should be a great game. So those are 4 great games right there. Just to recap my predictions, I like Williamstown by 28 over Atlantic City. Eastern over Southern by 4. Lacey over Kingsway 23-20 by 3. And then I will predict that Shawnee wins. Like I said, I'm rooting for them. Let's go Shawnee. I hope they win. It'll be a really good game. I'm really excited. It's just over 24 hours from now. It's about 5 o'clock here on Thursday. So I'm really looking forward to that game. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll come back with a recap of this week's action over the weekend. And then next Wednesday or Thursday, I'll post a video previewing the group finals. We're in for this has been a great season, and we're in for a good ending. So thanks for watching. Look out for my upcoming videos and enjoy the games this weekend.